I am a brother with a special perspective trying to use my powers for good.
This is a public service announcement.
Brother, talk to teach, listen and learn, truth transfer engineer, awesome the most, asshole to me. Greetings and welcome. Thank you for joining me for a special perspective. Before I do get started, I'd like to remind everybody that if you do enjoy the content, hit like and hit subscribe and all that stuff. Tell somebody to talk to teach and listen to learn. Today's special perspective is cause and effect. It's the missing links, the missing pieces, the things that we seem to just keep overlooking somehow. For example, there is a narrative about black people. And that's no different than any other race. There's, narratives, you repeat them long enough and they become acceptable and they become what we call stereotypes, right? And it's not uncommon at all. But your mama should have told you that it's one thing for somebody to believe something about you and it's something totally different for you to begin to believe those things about yourself. So what's different about black people is that way too often we genuinely believe, repeat, and regurgitate some of these narratives, negative narratives about ourselves. So my experience is that way too often when we're trying to solve problems as black people, we will tend to focus on the effect and not the cause. We treat the medicine the same way. So if we have a headache, we'll go get that thing or something to address the headache, and never go and try to address the issue that's causing the headache, the thing that's driving you to have a headache in the first place. It's like black people will complain about the spider web. They don't want the spider web, zero tolerance on the spider web, and then go feed the spider. It just doesn't seem to make much sense. In today's special perspective, I'd like to talk about some of these narratives that we've accepted, embraced, and sometimes driven ourselves. And I often hear black people drive the narrative that black people don't vote, but won't say anything, won't even acknowledge there's a such thing called voter suppression. Won't call out your local politicians for playing those little games, those little frivolous laws that they do with the licenses here, and then they move the polls here, and then all these things are designed for black and brown people to make it more difficult for them to vote. So, at one hand, acknowledging that black people may not vote the way you want to, and then not acknowledging why, is addressing the effect and ignoring the cause. I hear black people say how we have no fathers, how black men are deadbeat dads. I hear black people driving that narrative, but won't speak up on the fact that minimally we lost two generations of fathers due to mass incarceration, due to the war on drugs that we know now was a war on black men that hasn't stopped. That cost us minimally two generations of grannies and big mamas. That cost us minimally two generations of granddads and pawpaws. Wisdom passed down, guidance passed down, and then we complain about being lost. But why did that happen? How did that happen? I hear black people driving the narrative and using the made-up term black on black crime, ignoring the fact. Now, because we've all seen it. We've all seen the very lifelike masks and bodysuits to make you look like a black person. What do you think that's for? Halloween? Who do you think that's for? It's not for us. We already look black. We don't need to dress up to look black. So tell me, why would a non-black person spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars for a suit to make them look black. We get treated in a way that other people want to be treated like us. They dress up. What's the purpose? Don't ignore it. It's there. You can't ignore the fact that witness after witnesses say that there are guns being dropped off in the alleys in Chicago, for example. We have proof that police plant evidence. Do you think that's where it stops? You won't acknowledge that and continue to say black on black crime? I wonder how many of those suits are in Chicago. We will make the assumption black people will drive the narrative that black people live in ghettos, but won't know about gentrification, won't know about redlining, don't understand, won't care to understand, don't try to understand how those ghettos came to be, how they created the ghettos, and then the things they did to confine you to it, and then tricked you to root for it. Like, you know what I mean? You're proud to be from the city you're from. You're proud to be from Philly. You're proud to be from Chicago. You're proud to be from Atlanta. You enjoy that particular type of systemic racism. That brand suits you well. You're proud of that. People will drive the narrative of how these ghettos are violent, how these are very, very violent communities, right? But we've all seen the chemtrails in the sky over our neighborhoods. What is that? Have they ever explained to you, to your satisfaction, what that is and why it's necessary? We ignore that. What is it? What's the cause? Does it have an effect on our behavior? Does it cause us to be more violent? What about the different alcohols and different things that are available only in our communities? You ignore that. We'll help to drive the narrative that our children are more susceptible to having ADHD. But won't say anything about the poison, the lead laterals in the schools, in the homes, how that affects children's behavior, ability to learn. You ignore that. We know it's happening. We know it's happening, but we won't talk about it. We will talk more about ourselves and help drive their narratives than to hold them to task. We'll say black people are on drugs. We like to use the term crackhead. But we know how crack got to South Central Los Angeles. I don't remember anybody trying to hold anybody from the Reagan administration accountable for that. We ignore that. It's our fault. That's anywhere else in the world, that's chemical warfare. But we have accepted blame, and we'll blame each other and have a misplaced self-hate for ourselves. A misplaced self-hate. We aren't the cause and the effect to all of our conditions. We aren't the cause and the effect to our conditions. As a matter of fact, I'll take it to a smaller level, because I know cats like this, and you do too. If you know somebody who's the victim and the hero in every story, he's a damn lie. Yeah, you. Another thing I hear is as we discuss, we'll help drive the narrative how we don't have any leaders, how black people don't have any leaders, when we know what they do to our leaders. We know what they've done to our leaders. It's been proven. Like, again, it's not a conspiracy theorist. You know, the King family won in the Civil War. We know what they do to our leaders, and as a matter of fact, it's got It's gotten to the point where they don't even wait for them to become leaders. If you're young black and you can galvanize the people, you're a target. They kill young black men even with the potential. Nipsey Russell, Tupac Shakur. They won't let you live to be 40. Even if you heal too many people, if you become a Dr. Sebi, we know what they do to our leaders. But we'll complain about not having any leaders. We won't hold them to task. What other people behave this way? Ever. Anyway. That's just a special perspective. If you agree, you disagree. If you have something to add, if you want to inform me of something, if you have some information that may help me to come to a greater understanding, I'm definitely not above that. So I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, tell your truth. Call in on the Talk to Teach line, 414-214-0061. 414-214-0061. Leave a voicemail. Be respectful. Articulate yourself. Like I said, tell your truth, and I'll play it on the show. I'll be glad to listen to it. So leave a voicemail, leave a message that may be played on the Talk to Teach show. Be looking forward to hearing the different perspectives, right? Otherwise, you can contact the show, Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn, at gmail.com, or the Truth Transfer of Information group on Facebook, Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn on Instagram. Also, listen, We Got Us support, because we're gonna have to start getting away from Facebook. WeGotUps.com and Melanated People. Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn. Look forward to hearing from you. Peace.